Good morning, everybody. It's Saturday. It's a beautiful day. It's your boy Facts Hurt once again. I think I was gonna do a something like a dissertation, but I kind of changed my mind. So I'm just gonna throw some stuff out here. Some of these are statistical facts that can be looked up. Some of this is just general statements known to be true throughout the black community, but which are summarily dismissed, ignored, or flat out denied by the majority of the black community concerning black people. So here we go. Um, Majority of black people have an IQ of 85 or lower. An IQ between 70 to 85 pretty much puts you in the mental retardation range. It pretty much signifies you as having the mental growth of an 11 to 14-year-old child. Most black people are generally liars, especially criminals. Most black men, how can I put this? Most black men would choose to be uneducated as opposed to being educated. And the ones who actually achieve an education and go through school due to their lack of IQ don't really learn anything. And they choose to conduct themselves in an uneducated manner. I'm going to say 80 to 90% of black Americans cannot speak English properly. I'm going to say 65, maybe 70% of black Americans subscribe to the thug mentality, the hood mentality, which basically makes them potential criminals or supporters of criminal activity. I'm going to say the mass majority of black children in America do not do well in school because of their genetic inheritance of a low IQ. What else? Within the black community, there is a very, very strong culture of pedophilia, incest, and general fornication. It is more common, as it has been seen through viral videos represented on World Star Hip Hop. It's more common for a young black girl to inform her adult black mother that her live-in black boyfriend has either attempted or succeeded in molesting that young girl, and the mother retaliates against the girl for making the information public. It is more common for black families to hide this information and keep it a secret instead of speaking on it and outing the perpetrator and excommunicating that one, if not having that one legally prosecuted. Which means it makes more sense to them to keep it a secret than to speak on it, because that ain't nobody business. Due to the low IQ factor within the black race, black Americans are easily programmable easily mentally swayed. This is saying in the evidence that black people will latch on to any fad, any trend, anything that can be passed off to them as fashionable, marketable, a image of affluence. They'll do it. That's why you have so many black men walking around with their ass hanging out. That's why you have so many black girls who's grown up to be an aspiring stripper instead of an aspiring doctor or lawyer. The majority of black people will say this is completely and utterly due to black supremacy, but this cannot be true because no one has yet been able to prove the existence of white supremacy or the actual influence of white supremacy as a conglomerated effort. Black propaganda teaches that whites have in place a system of oppression against black people, but white people don't graduate high school all the time either. Every white person isn't a millionaire or even categorized as wealthy or rich. You have just close to the same amount of white people who are homeless and destitute as you do black people. So it kind of goes against the theory of white supremacy that they would allow their own kind to suffer if they're in power to sway and manipulate things to the point where their race is perpetually on top in its entirety. Kind of like No Kid Left Behind, it would be no white person left behind. You wouldn't have trailer parks full of white people. You wouldn't even have white people living in the hood. You wouldn't have little Becky running around with Keisha and Tykana and Crayola acting, speaking, having children with black men. It wouldn't happen. But it does. So therefore that it does, that's the primary evidence that white supremacy as it is known or as it is promoted within the black culture cannot exist. It cannot be true. But due to the low IQ of black people in general, they believe it. They believe it because it gives them something to blame, someone or some entity to blame other than themselves individually and their culture collectively. Which means they don't have to hold themselves accountable on either end, from either aspect. They can just blame it on the white people. Single black mothers raise thugs, homosexuals, lesbians. Single black mothers promote the quasi-feminist ideal of I don't need a man, which is a primary factor as to why black people, men and women, can't come together and form a lasting quality relationship and build a proper family, because the woman automatically feels as though she really don't need the man. So since that's her base programming, the black woman tends to go and seek out black men who have also been raised by black women, who have also been indoctrinated to the fact that a woman don't need me. So I'm gonna do pretty much whatever she wants me to do just to get her to keep me around, and I benefit off the crumbs that fall off of her table. All that meaning to say, most black women go out and seek weak black men, controllable black men. mama's boys, as it were, because she know he's been indoctrinated with a general fear of women in general, but specifically a fear of black women. So he's not going to raise up against her. He's not going to draw clearly defined lines against you. I'm not going to allow you to attack my manhood this way or that way. I'm not going to bow down to you. Period. I listen to some of these videos by Cynthia G and some of her followers. I get in the comment debates with them on a couple videos so far. They like to throw this term around called beta male. Well, it's been, in my opinion, majority of black women, quote unquote educated, quote unquote affluent, quote unquote wealthy or not, generally seek out beta males. They really want the beta male because the beta male is controllable. They don't want the alpha male. Cause see, the alpha male is going to be the male that tell them, yo, listen, shut the fuck up. I make majority of the finances here. I had all of this before I met you. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. You can't match me. They don't want that. They say they want that, but they don't really want that. And they try to use the term beta male as an insult, but when you observe their dating habits and their choices of having who they have children with, majority of those men are beta males. So how was this man able to copulate with you if you didn't allow it? And if you allowed it, therefore you purposefully went seeking a beta type male, simply for the fact of control. You know you have a major factor of control over that man. You have something to hold over his head. You have a point of manipulation. To our glory, though, a lot of black men are waking up and realizing this shit. That's why you got a lot of them going to other races. It ain't because we don't like black women. I mean, I use the term like as in it's not like we're physically, well, a lot of us are physically turned off from black women. But in all, majority of black men would prefer to be with a black woman, would prefer to build a family with a black woman. But as long as black women have this mentality of I don't need a man, all black men are beta males, and they lie to themselves that saying that's not what I want, but that's what they go after. As long as they have this contentious, pretentious attitude, and men are waking up and realizing I'm not signing up for this bullshit, we always gonna go somewhere else. We're gonna go to whomever makes us feel like a man. We're gonna go to whomever is willing to sit and listen to our problems and then not take our issues and use them against us as a weapon to belittle us and demean us. Now, you people can either take this and think about it, especially black people. You can either take this information and weigh it against your daily observation and your experience of being black for however many years you are of age. Proponents in your individuals in your family, individuals in your social circle, your neighborhood, your general community, and weigh it against the true and the false. Either you're going to believe the reality of your everyday existence or you're going to keep believing the lie of imaginatory existence. Because honestly, in 40 years of living, working since the age of 18, I've never had a white person tell me we're not hiring you because you're black. I've never had a white person tell me we're not hiring you because you're not smart enough. I've taken pre-employment tests, and some of them I completely passed. Some of them I just barely muddled through and still got the job. So where was white supremacy when they were supposed to be saying, don't you hire that nigger? We don't hire niggers here. What white established school or institute of higher learning is fundamentally turning away black applicants solely for the issue that they're black? Plenty of black men have attended and graduated from Harvard, Yale, Princeton, UCLA. They don't even restrict you from applying. You can apply, but if you don't meet the requirements for acceptance, it's generally not because you're black. It's generally because your SAT score wasn't high enough. Your overall credits throughout your educational career from kindergarten to high school was not high enough. You're being excluded. You're not being accepted because intellectually you cannot compete. This brought about the affirmative action, where Jesse Jackson and Reverend Al Sharpton blatantly came to it and said, listen, you got to accept these black students even though we know they can't intellectually compete with the community. You still got to let them in just because they're black. Even though we know majority of them are going to drop out, we know majority of them are going to be overpressured and give up, we know majority of them are just going to flat out fail, but just because they black, you got to let them in, just to make it look fair. But that means you're detracting from the quality of education of all the other children or teenagers or young adolescents. You're detracting from the quality of education of all those other ones who did have the proper SAT scores, who can intellectually compete. It's like putting special ed kids in the classroom with normal kids of normal intellect. The special ed kids are going to require so much attention because they're not mentally capable of keeping up with the information being presented in the class, that the teachers and the instructors have to spend more time with them as opposed to helping the kids who do have a higher potential of getting the information, cognizing the information, and actually learning and expounding upon the information. They do that too, especially in black communities. They put the blockhead dum dums right in the class with the higher intelligent motherfuckers. The motherfuckers that's actually reaching that 85, close to 90% of IQ. They put them in the class with the 65, 70% motherfuckers. A lot of people not going to like what I'm saying here, and I really don't care. But like I said, if you take this and you honestly weigh it against what you see in your everyday life, you know it's true. You're not going to admit that it's true, but you know it's true. I'll give you some examples before I run out of time. You ever notice how a black criminal get arrested and they're obviously a criminal? They already have a rap sheet. They already have open warrants, and that's why the police is coming down on them. What's the first thing they say? I ain't do nothing. When that person's black family get interviewed by the news stations, what's the first thing they say when they get on the camera? He ain't do nothing. Does that bother anybody else? I hate to see black people get on camera, national TV. They can't speak proper English. They can't formulate and communicate a constant concerted thought. They look pathetic. And every now and then you'll see a redneck hillbilly, depending on what the story was, what the event was. Yeah, that they out there, they exist too. You got a lot of white people that still can't speak proper English. That's true. That is true. I ain't white though. And as much as black people like to claim that the whites are cave beasts and all of that, wouldn't we be striving to not emulate anything about white culture as opposed to striving to assimilate and emulate white culture? Think about it though. I might do a couple more videos today. I'm running on my time. I'm at 20 minutes and some change. But I said, people, I mean, just we as black people, we need to start telling the truth about ourselves. We need to start examining the truth about ourselves and stop playing the victim. Stop blaming. Blame yourself. You a thug because you choose to be a thug. You a hoe because you choose to be a hoe. You 22 years old with 3 kids because you chose to be a fucking hoe. You chose to be 23 with 3 kids. Your baby daddy ain't shit. You chose to have ain't shit daddy. Baby daddy. You chose to fuck that nigga. You unemployed, you choosing to be unemployed. Even if it's hard to find a job. At some point, you just stop trying. That's why you don't have a job. Or you got jobs and then became irritated over the fact that you actually had to work. That's another issue. I'm gonna make a video about that. Black people claim they can't get a job, can't get a job, can't get a job. And when they finally do get a job, you ever notice motherfuckers, especially black women, these motherfuckers come to work with an attitude every fucking day, complaining. I don't even know why I'm here. I don't want the fuck kind of stupid shit is that? So what happens? Eventually they either end up committing behavior that gets them fired from the job, or they just quit. Because in reality, they lazy asses don't want to work. In reality, they really feel like everything's just supposed to be given to them. They're not supposed to work for anything. How do you blame white supremacy for that? How do you blame white supremacy for the fact that you don't want to get up 5 o'clock in the morning to be to work by 6 and work till 4:30 without complaining about it, without being proud and happy of the fact that I'm earning money. My time is well spent. Why? Because I'm getting paid for every minute that I'm here. Every second that I'm here is accumulating me money that I need. I don't see how white people are strong enough to influence that inside an individual. I don't give white people that kind of power. That's why I don't believe in white supremacy. I believe in black stupidity. Facts hurt, folks. Stay tuned. I might drop a couple more. Enjoy your Saturday. Get yourself a drink. Have a good stiff drink. Clear your mind. Then listen to this and think about it. I'm out.